Narrator. He walked in like the case was already over. Dionor's suit, luxury watch, a smirk that said he'd never lost anything in his life. And for the first 17 minutes, he acted like this courtroom was a minor inconvenience. Then Judge Judy picked up a phone, read one text message out loud, and the smirk disappeared completely. What happened in the next 4 minutes, he will never forget. Bailiff Bird calls the room to order. Narrator. Today's plaintiff is Daniel Reeves, 29 years old, a self-made small business owner who spent 6 years building a mobile event promotions company from nothing. His custom motorcycle wasn't just transportation. It was his brand, his marketing, his livelihood at every event he attended. He is suing Ethan Callaway, 24 years old, son of real estate developer Victor Callaway, a man whose name appears on half the commercial buildings downtown. Daniel claims Ethan took his motorcycle without permission during a charity car event, crashed it into a concrete barrier, and then never made a single call to apologize or pay for the damage. The repair estimate? $18,200. Ethan's response to being sued? According to his own text messages, he thought it was funny. Judge Judy, Mr. Reeves. Tell me what happened, Daniel. 3 months ago, I attended a charity car event downtown. I brought my motorcycle to display. It's wrapped with my company logo. I use it at events to promote my brand. Around midnight, Ethan and a group of friends showed up. They weren't registered for the event. Judge Judy. Were they invited? Daniel. Not officially. Security let them through because someone recognized Ethan. Once they were inside, things shifted quickly. Ethan started revving borrowed cars in the parking area, filming videos. At some point, he came over to where my bike was parked and started asking questions about it. Judge Judy. Did you engage with him? Daniel, briefly. He asked if it was fast. I said yes. He suggested we race. I said no. He pushed a couple more times. I walked away to speak with event staff. That's when it happened. Judge Judy. What happened? Daniel. I got a call about 10 minutes later. Someone said a motorcycle matching my description had crashed into a barrier 2 blocks from the venue. When I got there, it was my bike, front end completely destroyed. Ethan and his friends were already gone. Text. Hey. Never cowled. Never apologized. Never paid. Narrator. Judge Judy now turns to Ethan. And what's immediately noticeable isn't aggression. It's indifference. The particular kind of indifference that comes from spending a lifetime watching problems disappear. Judge Judy. Mr. Callaway, did you take Daniel's motorcycle that night? I mean, borrow is a strong word. It was an informal situation. Nobody was being careful about whose stuff was whose. Judge Judy. That's not what I asked. Did you take it without his permission? Then he wasn't around. I figured it would be fine. Judge Judy. You figured it would be fine? Then, look, if I knew it was going to become this whole thing, obviously I wouldn't have touched it. But honestly, accidents happen. That's what insurance is for. Judge Judy. He's not here asking your insurance company. He's here asking you. Right. And my position is that this is a civil disagreement that my attorney could have resolved weeks ago if Mr. Reeves had been willing to have a normal conversation. Narrator. Notice what Ethan doesn't say. He doesn't say he's sorry. He doesn't say the damage wasn't serious. He redirects, deflects, frames himself as the reasonable one. It's a practiced response. The kind you develop when you've been coached to never admit anything directly, but Judge Judy has seen this before. And she knows exactly what it means. Judge Judy. Mr. Callaway, do you understand that taking someone's property without permission, regardless of what happens afterward, is not a civil disagreement? Ethan shrugs slightly. Then, I understand that's your framing of it. The courtroom stirs. Judge Judy looks at him for a long moment. Not angry yet, just watching. Narrator. Daniel's first piece of evidence is parking garage security footage from the venue. Ethan glances at his phone briefly as it loads. Then the footage begins playing, and his hand slowly puts the phone down. Narrator. The video is clear. Daniel is visible near the event entrance speaking with staff. Ethan approaches the motorcycle, looks around once, picks up the keys from a side table where Daniel had left them, nods to two friends nearby, and within 40 seconds, they're walking the bike toward the exit. No one stops them. No one was asked. Judge Judy. Mr. Calloway, this footage shows you taking the keys while Mr. Reeves was not present. You said you figured it would be fine. What exactly did you base that on? Then, we'd been talking earlier. There was a vibe. It felt like Judge Judy. A vibe. Then, I'm not saying it was a formal agreement, Judge Judy. It wasn't any kind of agreement. That's the point. Ethan shifts his weight slightly. For the first time, the indifference cracks just a little. Text. Then his own friend walked in. Narrator. Daniel calls one witness. Marcus Hill, 23 years old. A mutual friend who was present at the event that night. The moment Marcus enters the courtroom, Ethan goes very still. Judge Judy. Mr. Hill, you were present the night of the incident? Marcus. Yes, ma'am. Judge Judy. Why are you testifying for the plaintiff if you know the defendant? Marcus. Because Daniel reached out to me directly. And I didn't feel right staying quiet. Ethan stares at Marcus without expression. Judge Judy, what did you observe that night? Marcus. Ethan had been talking about Daniel's bike for a while before he took it. He said he wanted to see what it could do. Someone in our group told him to leave it alone. He laughed it off. Judge Judy. Did he say anything specific about Mr. Reeves? Marcus pauses briefly. Marcus. He said something like, relax. Guy like that isn't going to do anything about it. The courtroom settles into a heavier silence. Judge Judy. What did you understand that to mean? Marcus. That he assumed Daniel wouldn't have the resources or the connections to make it a real problem for him. Judge Judy. And after the crash? Marcus. He was more worried about it showing up online than about the bike. He kept asking us not to post anything. He said his father was trying to close a deal and didn't need bad press. Judge Judy. Did he contact Mr. Reeves after the crash? Marcus. Not that I saw. Judge Judy. Did he mention paying for the damage? Marcus shakes his head slowly. Marcus, he said, and I'm quoting, that's what lawyers are for. Judge Judy. Mr. Reeves. Walk me through what this damage actually cost you. Not just the repair bill. Everything. Danielle. The motorcycle itself, $18,200 in repairs. But I also lost 3 confirmed bookings in the 6 weeks it was in the shop. Those events paid between $1,500 and $2,500 each. And one client didn't rebook. They said they needed someone reliable. Judge Judy. So the total financial impact? Daniel. Closer to $24,000 when you add it all together. Judge Judy. And this business? How long did it take you to build it? Daniel. 6 years. I worked nights and weekends for the first 3 before it was stable enough to be my only income. The bike was the centerpiece of everything I presented at events. People remembered it. It brought in clients. Judge Judy is quiet for a moment, then she looks toward Ethan. Judge Judy. 6 years of work, damaged in 10 minutes, because you wanted to see what it could do. Ethan says nothing. Hanver narrator. Marcus Hill isn't finished. Marcus, there's something else. He sent a message to our group chat about 30 minutes after the crash. I still have it. Ethan's jaw tightens slightly. Marcus hands his phone to Bailiff Bird. Bird carries it to Judge Judy. The courtroom is completely quiet. Judge Judy reads it once silently. Her expression doesn't change dramatically. She doesn't gasp. She doesn't react for show. She simply reads it again. Then she looks up slowly. Judge Judy. Mr. Calloway, this message was sent from your number at 12:47 a.m. The night of the incident. Ethan stares at the table. Judge Judy, I'm going to read it. Don't stress. His type doesn't have the money or the contacts to make this stick. Dad's dealt with bigger. This disappears. 3 seconds of complete silence. Then quiet murmuring begins across the room. Judge Judy. His type? What type is that, Mr. Calloway? Ethan opens his mouth, closes it. Judge Judy. You crashed a man's property, watched him walk up to it destroyed. And 30 minutes later, you were sending messages about how it would disappear. Not because you were innocent, but because you assumed the system would protect you. Then that message was private. I was venting. Judy, it is now evidence, and it tells me everything I need to know about your intentions from the moment this incident occurred. Text. But then something unexpected happened. Narrator. At this point, most people assumed the case was effectively over. The text was damning. The footage was clear. The witness was credible. But then Judge Judy asked one more question, a question nobody in the room expected. Judge Judy, Mr. Calloway, your father's name is Victor Calloway. Then, yes, Judge Judy, the same Victor Calloway who donated the new wing to the downtown community center last year? The room shifts. Ethan looks uncertain where this is going. Ethan, he's involved in a lot of projects. Yes, Judge Judy. So his public image matters. Then I don't see what that has to do with. Judge Judy, your text message referenced your father handling this. I want to understand something clearly. Did your father know about this incident? Long pause. Then he was made aware of it. Judge Judy. And what was his response? Another pause. Longer this time. Then he said to let our attorney handle it. Judge Judy. Not. Call the young man and pay for what you broke. Not. Go apologize. Let the attorney handle it. She lets that land for a moment. Judge Judy. Do you understand that the lesson you never learned is the same lesson he never taught you? The room goes very quiet. And for the first time today, Ethan Calloway looks less like someone who is losing a case, and more like someone who is realizing something uncomfortable about himself. Hanvermos. Judge Judy, let me be direct with you. You are not here because you made a mistake. People make mistakes every day. You are here because after the mistake, you made a choice. You chose not to call him. You chose not to pay. You chose to send a message calculating whether he had the resources to fight back. And then you walked into this courtroom today and kept making the same choice, minimizing greeting, performing reasonableness while offering nothing. Then I never said I wouldn't pay. Judge Judy. You said this was an insurance matter. You said your attorney could have resolved it. But your attorney didn't call Mr. Reeves. Your father didn't call Mr. Reeves. You didn't call Mr. Reeves. 6 weeks, not one call. She leans forward. Judge Judy. The most expensive lesson you can learn is the one you refuse to learn on your own. Hanveramos. Judge Judy reviews the submitted documents briefly. Then she looks up. Judge Judy. Judgment for the plaintiff. Full motorcycle repair costs awarded. Lost business income awarded. Total judgment, $22,400. Doc. Judge Judy. Mr. Calloway, your father built something real. Whether you build anything at all depends entirely on whether today meant something to you or whether you walk out of here and wait for the next person to clean it up. That's not a legal question. That's yours to answer. Gavel case is closed. Narrator. Daniel exhales, quietly, no celebration, just relief. Marcus avoids eye contact with Ethan as he passes, and Ethan Calloway walks out of the courtroom. saying nothing. Not because he has nothing to say, but because for once, nothing he could say would help. Narrator, one motorcycle, one text message sent at 12:47 a.m., one assumption that wealth makes consequences optional. All of it, undone in under 30 minutes. But here's the question we want you to answer. Was $22,000 enough? Or should there have been criminal charges for taking the motorcycle without permission? Comment civil if you think the judgment was fair. Comment criminal if you think he got off too easy. Let's see where the comments land. And if you want more courtroom moments where arrogant people meet reality, subscribe and hit the bell icon, because we've got cases coming that make this one look tame. See you in the next one.